A growing number of elite fighters are backing Diego Lopes to spring a major upset against Alex Volkanovski in their blockbuster rematch. As anticipation builds ahead of the UFC 325 headliner just 6 days away, a surprising number of fighters believe the Brazilian powerhouse will have the 37-year-old Aussie champion's number this time around. UFC 325, Volkanovski vs Lopes 2, Sunday, February 1, 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. For the first time in his storied career, UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski will defend his championship in his home city of Sydney, in a rematch with Brazil's Diego Lopes. Their first clash at UFC 314 in Miami last April ended in a unanimous decision loss for Lopes, with bookmakers leaning towards the featherweight kingpin to get the job done again. Yet, more than a few top fighters are predicting an ambush at Quito's Bank Arena on Sunday, EST. For some, the concern isn't technical, it's mental. I think Diego. UFC star Stephen Wonder Thompson told fight reporter James Lynch in his MMA Pros Pick video. He's that up-and-coming dog, man, and I know when you've been at the top for so long like he, Volkanovski, has, you start to see a little of a mental change. I don't think he's as hungry as Diego. Others have questioned Volkanovski's motivation, particularly amid whispers he could be contemplating retirement. It's hard to go against a guy like Volkanovski, said veteran Neil Magny. He's definitely one of the best featherweights ever. But the rumors from the media about whether this is a retirement fight, I just noticed it's difficult when guys are fighting with one foot out the door. If any of that were true, I'm going to have to lean towards Diego Lopes for this fight. While some see danger in the Wollongong icon's mindset, others believe the path to victory for the challenger is far more practical. Light heavyweight fighter Julius Walker tipped Lopes as well, pointing to a potential wrestling edge. I could see Diego getting this one done, Walker said. One thing that might be interesting in this fight is I know that Diego has been training a lot in Oklahoma State's wrestling room, so maybe we'll see the element of him adding a little bit of wrestling in there. That first fight they had was just a striking match. I think that the wrestling may be an interesting wrinkle he can throw in there to mix it up a little. The belief that Lopes has learned from the first fight is a common refrain. Light heavyweight Modestas Bukauskas echoed those sentiments when he was asked about the matchup. Obviously, Alex Volkanovski is a very well-rounded fighter. He's one of the greatest ever, he said. He's going to go down in the Hall of Fame, but now is Diego Lopes' time. He's going to learn from his mistakes he made in the first fight. I think he'll correct them and get the win. Cody Brundage believes only minor tweaks are required for Lopes to flip the result and get his hand raised in Sydney. I think some minor adjustments from Lopes and he would have won the first fight, said Brundage. He was having a hard time tracking Volk down and he was getting kind of frustrated. He has a good team behind him and they will make that adjustment, and I think he will find the win. But the most confronting assessments focus not on strategy, but on time. And it's something Volkanovski has heard before. Former UFC fighter and current UFC analyst Din Thomas believes Father Time will be the decisive factor next weekend. A 34-year-old Volkanovski beats Lopes 99 times out of 100. He told MMA Global. I think a 37-year-old Volkanovski, it's not as many. And I think Diego Lopes gets him this time. So we're looking at a Brazilian-Mexican champion in the featherweight division come February. Former UFC champion Aljamain Sterling said he hopes Volkanovski gets his hand raised, but just doesn't see it happening. Diego had a moment in the last fight or two where he was able to crack Volk, said Sterling. Volk's chin is not what it used to be, so I'm going to say that his durability is definitely not the same with those two big brutal knockouts back to back. With that said, you get past a dangerous heavy-handed striker the first time, but now you gotta take that puncher's chance for another 25 minutes. I kind of lean towards Diego getting the upset. It's certainly not the first time Volkanovski has been underestimated. In fact, he thrives off it. The Lopes bout will mark Volkanovski's first title defense on home soil. His last outing in Sydney came back in November 2017, when he faced New Zealand's Shane Young in just his second UFC appearance. Since then, he has gone on to establish himself as Australia's greatest ever MMA fighter and one of the country's most beloved athletes. I still believe I'm so much better than these guys, he told Fox Sports Australia last month. But am I the exact same guy that I was 10 years ago? No, but I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn or anything, but I still believe I can be the best in the world. Yes, I do. I still believe I can look like that, even if I decline more. I think in a couple of years I can still look that dominant in there, I believe. And that's just because I'm that guy that trains very hard, has the right strategy, fight IQ. I think I can go out there and look like I'm as dominant as ever.